Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well today. Today I'm going to have a conversation that is going to be thought-provoking, probably provoking to some overall, but it's something that we need to think about. I hope this video is not too long, but I hope that you will give me your ear to the end. I'm open to your feedback, good, bad, or ugly, but it's something that we definitely have to think about. I'm not sure when I will upload this video, but I felt the need to make it today. At the time it's uploaded, then it will be. I want you to first understand that I understand that not every person is doing what I'm going to address today. Not every Black person is behaving this way. Whatever your complexion is, whatever shade of Black you are not, we are not all the same. We are not all behaving the same way. And this message is not for everyone in the sense of you're the one that's doing it. But I also don't want it to be ignored and taken with offense and you begin typing immediately before listening. I used to just listen to videos and just start typing, and it's something I need to learn. You can't hear when you're typing. You can't hear the whole message. And a lot of times I know when someone is just typing out of emotions because they'll say things that was addressed in the video. And you can't listen to something mad and offended. If it offends you, sit it down, listen to it again. But I ask that your ear is open to really hear. And regardless of what may be said, sometimes you may not agree with something, but it's probably the truth. Sometimes you may not agree with something because it's not true, but a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about, I am not lying because I've seen it. And a lot of people get mad and they're offended because they refuse to see the truth. So all I could say is just look at this, think about this, and go from there. Those who it's for, listen carefully. You can resist it, but you heard it. You may stop it. You may decide, I'm not going to listen to you. You may look at the title and say, I don't like it, and don't listen, but you're still seeing something. You chose not to listen. This message is for Black people. I've done these messages before. I've said this before, but I'm seeing there is this behavior that's becoming more and more of a habit where we are crying racism about everything. Everything is racist. Everything is because I'm Black. Everything is this person's a racist, that person's a racist. But Black people, a lot of you are the racist. You're the racist because you are so color conscious. You're racist because you are looking at someone's color and determining that they're racist because of what's coming out of their mouth. Because if it was another brown person standing in front of you saying those exact same words, meaning they're not agreeing with you, it may be a brown supervisor that had to correct you, a brown supervisor that had to do some sort of corrective action or some sort of performance improvement plan, or to terminate you, or to ask you something about your appearance, or just disagree with you. You can think of many reasons why this person may have done what they've done or said what they said, whether they don't like you, whether you're just from different social and economic circles. There'll be so many other things, but if those things are coming from a white person, it's a problem. If it's come from anyone other than Black, you're going to cry racism. And the reason why I have a problem with this is because there are people who are really, really experiencing racism. And they're not going to be taken seriously. The people who are really being abused, the people that are really being downtrodden, the people that's really going through horrific things, even genocide, that stuff is going to be taken with a grain of salt because there are people running around just saying racist, racist, racist. It's because I'm Black, because of anything. If someone does not agree with them, it's because they're racist. If someone has to make a decision concerning them, it's because they're racist. If someone The biggest thing is, I don't agree with you. If someone else sees history a different way, they're racist. And it's becoming so common, it's almost comical, except that it's not. But I'm here to say, many Black people, you are the racist. You're racist because this group, and again, not every Black person is this way, and perhaps some had this mentality, but they've changed. Okay? Black people, you guys are conscious about what shade of brown you are. And you guys treat each other, I'm Black, you all treat each other based on how dark or how light your skin is. Black people among your culture, our culture, y'all don't even say I'm Black. You'll say, no, I am brown. Someone will say, no, I am mocha. Someone will say, I am coffee, because you don't want to be considered Black. Dark-skinned people, some of you guys are hating and will mistreat your light-skinned sisters because they're light-skinned. You will hate them because they have nice hair, they're mixed. You will mistreat them. If there's a woman of mixed race working for you, some of you dark women or brown women are going to give her a hard time because of what she looks like. Some of you are jealous because of what she looks like. I said some, not all. Some of you light-skinned sisters, pretty hair, beautiful eyes, all of that, you will shun and mistreat and talk down about your dark-skinned sisters. You want to make sure that you are not in any way affiliated with them. You don't want to go around your dark cousins, and when you do, you want to make sure they realize that you're better. You may behave like you're better. You may tease them about their dark skin and kinky hair. You may want to elevate yourself as being better. You may throw it in their face that the relatives treat her better. And sometimes you don't want to have anything to do with your dark-skinned family. That's racism. That's discrimination. That's colorism. It's a bunch of things. Black men, some of you don't want to date dark women. Dark women, some of you don't want to date light-skinned men. Light-skinned men, you don't want to date another light-skinned woman. You want a dark woman. You're color conscious. Some of you guys, you deliberately go out there and date someone of another race because you want to go ahead and dilute any Blackness in you. And the whole time you're praying to God that you don't come out having a baby as Black as Darth Vader. Let's keep it real. You're racist. You are so afraid of your Blackness. Black people, y'all need to cut it out, because yes, there are things that's going on in the world that's real. And that's what's making me mad. That there are people who are being strung up by their feet, like there's some chickens and fowls and roosters being sold in different parts of the world and being beaten and being enslaved and still being tied up, but no one sees it. There are people who are really being discriminated against at their job because of their skin, because of their hair. People who are being discriminated against for real at schools because of their coily hair, because of their full lips. All these things, they're being discriminated against, even though they're smart and they're more than capable of and more than worthy of being a part of an elite group in schools and in the business sphere. They are experiencing this stuff for real. And there are people walking around here crying racism about minor things. And the problem is, you're racist. The problem is, some of you, in my opinion, hate being Black. You're mad that you're Black. You hate your big nose. You hate your wide nose. You hate your full lips. You hate everything about yourself. You hate your kinky hair. Some of you are jealous. You hate white people. You hate them because they're white. They do not have to pay any reparations for their forefathers. They didn't do it. Just like some of you do not have to pay reparation for some of your pedophile raping uncles, pedophile raping grandfathers. You don't know what your family has done. And all of us have history that we know not about. Every race, somebody in our family did something bad. We don't know about it. And some of you do. If someone was to check your genealogy and then they realize that there was someone in your family who was murdering and killing and raping children and doing all these things, raped all the family, raped all the women, or a woman who killed someone, should that family come after you because of what one of your great family members did? We have to stop it. There must be something. Let me tell you what the problem is. A lot of black people are just too doggone angry. Y'all are angry. Y'all are mad about what's happened in your life, what you don't have, and now you have this glorified displacement. Displacement this is really the root problem, but you're going to go here, you're going to make everybody else pay for it. Some of you, you're angry people, you're bitter, you haven't forgiven people in your family for stuff, and it is very dangerous when you hold a grudge. Some of you are bitter because you were hurt. Some of you are hurt because of things that's happened in your personal life, things that may have happened, isolated incident that happened with a specific person, and you decided to just take on this mantle of hate, and everybody else is paying for it. Do you know who was telling me that I am not black? It was black people. You know who was talking about I'm so pretty to be dark? It was black people. It wasn't white people bullying me about being dark. It was other black people as dark as or darker than me. It wasn't a white man telling me I'm so pretty to be a black woman. It was black men. It was black women asking me if my hair was a wig or not, because black people can't have hair like that. It's black people talking about people's hair is nappy and getting on social media like sea donkeys, doing dumb stuff, like straight up sea donkeys. I said that. I made that up. Just dumb, because it is. Blacker than Darth Vader, talking about how you hate black people. Or the flip side is you're so happy that you're about as white as a stormtrooper and you're doing everything in your power. See how I'm not them. Either way, both scenarios, you're looking like clowns. You look like those individuals that will be shucking and jiving and trying to be accepted. That's how that comes off. At the end of it all, there is something wrong. There is a sense of neediness. Pick me, I want to be noticed. Even if I have to cry racist, I'm going to do it. You're racist to one another, black people. You're shooting each other up. Black people, you're slaughtering each other. Why is no one marching against another black person for killing another black? Why are you all just buying all these records that promotes stereotypes against black people? Why are grown people in their 50s and 60s still dressing like boys? Is it a wonder why are you following that mentality where, yes, people who were slave masters used to be calling men boys? That's why you as women are still talking about, come here, boy, talking to grown men, talking to your sons with such hostility. You're going out there trying to blame white people for this nastiness that you guys have towards each other. When new communities are built up with nice areas, give it about 6 months to a year, and that community is run down. Except for maybe one or a couple people in that area that wants to take care of the housing units or the places or the community that was been built for them. I drive through those neighborhoods. I've driven through those neighborhoods, and every last one of y'all blinds is towed up. What is going on? Foil paper in the window. But you're going to be mad because the white neighborhood looks so good. If they move some of y'all over there, it will be ruined because there's something lacking within you. Why, if you, whether it's a Section 8 housing or it's a nice neighborhood, an affluent place, many of you guys go in there with that you owe me mentality, and you will ruin the block. You don't want to follow the rules of the Housing Homeowners Association. If they talk to you about it, it's going to be a problem. They are racist. No, cut your grass, lazy. There is hatred. Stop crying racism while you turn around and call your ladies, call women bees and hoes and the N-word, and you're abusing them, you're being rude, you walk by, you don't hold the door open. If a woman says hello, some of you have to assume that she wants to sleep with you, and if she's not interested in you, you're gonna call her a bee and a hoe and all these things. Men, some of you are acting like brute beasts. And when a black man is being a gentleman and being kind, some of you ladies don't like that. Now, granted, when we were younger, we were young girls, teenagers, oh, you like the bad boys, but at some point you should be outgrowing that. A man is trying to do well, he's being kind, he's not rough. That's a problem, black women. For some of you, let me be correct. You don't want him, he's too straight-laced. You don't want him because he's not grabbing you by the throat. You're talking about police brutality and every type of brutality, but you live for it. You're brutal to your children. Some of you talk to your children in a way, you call them dumb, you call them stupid, you call them MF, you call them this, you call them that. You fight your daughters like they're grown women. You're treating your sons, telling them to get out your face, being wicked and evil. And when the nice black guys here, you don't want him. And when he's intelligent and he speaks well, you're trying to act white. So they become alienated. And when they go date someone that's not black, y'all calling him a sellout. You guys are the mean ones. You are the racists. Why? Because he's with a white woman, he's with an other race. You make that a deal. You're the racist. I remember a long time ago, I went to an instructor fitness training program, and we all had to take turns doing, a whole fitness spiel. And we had some exercise we had to do, and I did my thing, and my cool down, I played some classical music for the cool down. And you would have thought we were stretching, I'm doing the instructing, and I happened to look up at a group of black people that was in the course. And, I was hanging with them. I was hanging with everybody, but we were working together. We had to work together a lot, but they were looking at me, all of them, with this shocked and confused and expression on their face, as if I had just grown two heads. They thought it was weird that I listened to classical music because that's white people music. They thought it was weird that I spoke proper English. They thought it was weird that, no, I don't know how to play spades. Some of y'all might think that now. Yeah, I grew up in Brooklyn. I know how to talk, blah, blah, blah. It comes out. But in my household, we spoke proper English. My father's not having that you be, we be. He's not going to do that. There was no profanity in my home. I never heard my parents curse at each other. Now, once we got in school, we might have snuck in a few words at school, but we did not hear that. There's no violence in my house. But I had friends on the block that their household was different. But you know what? We were friends. We found what we had in common. And they didn't criticize me because nobody in my house cursed. And I didn't criticize them because maybe they were in a volatile house. We were sisters. We were sister and brothers. We were friends. We all met on the block to play double dutch and hopscotch and red light, green light, and opening up the fire hydrant in the summer. We were all one. We're not looking to say, well, what's wrong with you? Let me criticize you. And the problem with many black people is that you're looking for faults. And you are racist. A lot of you guys are racist. You're angry racist. And what you're doing is you're trying to put it on white people. White people's not the ones that's messing up your neighborhoods. You want equality, you want this, you want that, but given that, you will ruin it. Look, many of you are ruining the freedoms that you've been given because of the people who really experienced racism, who were assassinated for it, who were hung, who were tarred and feathered. A woman who died, she was hung up and hung, and while she was alive, they sliced the baby out of her stomach. When the baby fell on the ground, they stomped and then burned her baby. She experienced real racism, but she was willing to stand up and speak, so you can stand up, we can stand up and speak today. And what are you doing with it? Squandering it over dumb stuff. So what if they don't like you? Grow up. So what if they don't believe in your struggle? So what? So long as they are not trying to hurt you, harm you, and to keep you from progressing, stop making things up. Because you don't mind when a black person is doing it. You're talking about white people, but there are a lot of black supervisors. You're very abusive to your own. You're abusive when you're in any kind of power because your character is shot. And a person who has issues that they have not resolved, give them some power in a position, give them a desk with a view, and they're going to act crazy. You abuse your employees. You abuse and mistreat your children. You abuse and you mistreat your own family. You're rude to people on the phone. You're nasty to each other. So what do you want the white man to do? You're ruining your freedoms right now. You're taking it for granted. Many of you are a disgrace, and it's a joke because everything is a problem. But I dare say, many of you just simply hate being black. You're jealous that someone's white. Some of you are jealous. You hate it. You want what they want. And if you were them, you'd be racist to you as a black person. Your rage and issues have gotten in the way, and it's hiding itself behind justice, and it's hiding behind rights, and it's hiding behind equality. But no, you're hostile. It's blind. It makes no sense. No one could sneeze without you saying, it's racism. A person disagreeing with you is not racism. You come to work late and they write you up, it's not racism. She said, well, you didn't write up that person over there, but you wrote me up. Don't put yourself in any problems to be able to see the difference. It's not about, oh, well, Catherine came to work late, but I come to work late and you write me up. Stop going to work late. That's the issue. Well, the judge is more fair to white people than black people. They get less, we get more time than them. Stop committing crimes. You shouldn't be in, when you do certain things, you're going to put yourself in the crosshairs of people who are unfair, and they're going to be able to exert their prejudice or discrimination towards you because you put yourself in that problem, in that situation. A lot of times people are not taking accountability of their actions. They're not thinking of that. It wasn't white people that jumped on Shanquella Robinson. It's black people in bonnets beating a woman naked and a man sitting there and filming it. Oh, had that been white people, my God. Raw justice. We're still crying for justice for her. But it would have been, wow, off the charts. There would have been a burning and looting going on over that. You hate each other because you don't even look at each other. Many of you won't even look at someone. Black men just walk past a woman, a black woman, like it's nothing. Don't say hello, don't say anything. Same thing. And a lot of times, you know what? It's like we can't trust each other. Maybe that man that's walking by now used to say hello, but maybe some woman thought he was up to something and cursed him out and he shut down, and vice versa for the women. A lot of the discrimination that we may go through, you go to a restaurant, they don't want to serve you, they don't want to let you in. Thank some of your black buddies for that. Sometimes it's not always that. It's not always that. It's not always discrimination. It's that this restaurant, this establishment was open to all people. But there was a group of black people that went in there and behaved like sea donkeys. And now when you go in there with your full lips and melanin skin and kinky hair, all they're seeing is PTSD. The person that was flipping over the tables, the person that walked out without paying. Thank your brothers and sisters for that. We can thank them for that. Sometimes people are racist. They are out there. You see them. But a lot of times when that happens, there's an outcry and they're getting fired too. Don't act like that stuff's not happening. But there's a mob of individuals that is just that, a mob. You're just angry. You don't care about racism. You don't really care about that stuff. You want something to argue about. Take care of stuff in your own backyard. You're crying about racism and hostility, but you're hostile at home. You're a hostile supervisor. You're a hostile wife. You're a hostile husband. You're a hostile parent. Oh, it don't matter because it's black on black? What kind of foolishness is that? If you truly believe in causing the cause of treating people as equals, you're going to treat your children that way. You're going to stand up for one another. You're not going to turn up your music to drown out the screams upstairs, downstairs, next to you. If you're truly convicted and want to make a change, you won't sit there turning up the rap music with the N-word and running to watch movies with Bonquisha in them, cussing and carrying on and fighting. And when they breasts flipped out, the wife beater, they in the tank tops and carrying on. You will not. You will stop each other. You'll say no. You'll say let me out. You'll say I'm not going to do that. You will step up. Men, you will stand in front of that man and say you're not going to touch her. But you're not doing that. Why? Because a lot of y'all, you're afraid of each other. Because you're dealing with a hostile man. You don't even feel free to go up and speak to another brother and say, hey, what are you doing? Because he may turn around and shoot you. So what are you going to do? You're going to go where it's, you can intimidate white folk. Why they following you around in the store? Because another set of brown people went in and stole from them. Why are they talking to you through these bulletproof partitions? Because another set of brown people went through there and did something. And so now they don't smile anymore. They're not nice anymore because of those things. A lot of the things you may face, true discrimination, being followed around, blame your black brothers and sisters for that. And then those that are trying to be kind and being respectful and speaking properly and wanting to be good friends, close friend, being a loyal boyfriend, loyal girlfriend, trying to be there. You guys are calling them punks and saying all these things. You don't want to be around them. And so they end up just being pushed away. And then there's a problem because they're dating someone else. And my thing, I told anyone, if you find love in another race, go for it. The only issue I have is when you go in there acting like Pookie.com. Oh Lord, I'm so thankful you chose me. Oh, everybody in my race is so terrible. All the men is horrible. All the women's is horrible. Oh, thank you, Mr. Anybody but black for letting me in your family. I mean, that's pretty much what you're doing. You mark yourself down about 85% the minute you start talking about other people. No, black men are not this way. Not all black women are that way. The ones you chose were that way. So check your character, because if you don't check it, when you get around with the other race, Indian, black, Mexican, whatever, you want to go over there, you're going to mistreat them because they're going to carry that craziness. Because your character is still looking for drama. So when you have a nice, quiet woman, yes, she's nice and quiet, but you're going to be over there breaking her heart, and just because she's not saying anything, that's what you like, but you're still hurting her because you are now the problem. You have a white woman, a Brazilian woman, you have a Japanese woman, you have a Korean woman, you have some other sort of woman who their culture is to be quiet, while you are now cdonkey.com over there, abusing her, mistreating her, not taking care of your children. And some of you, I'm telling you, you move over to these foreign countries and think that you're going to pull the stunts that you pull in the United States or wherever you're from. It's going to be different. There's a brother that went over to Japan. He was in the Marines. He was dating a woman, lied to her. A Japanese woman lied to her, said he was single. She found out he was married. She broke it off with him. He pursued her. She didn't want to get back with him, and so he killed her. Now he's set for execution. And rest assured, they don't care about his childhood, and they're not going to care about what medications he was supposed to take, and they're not going to care. There's not going to be anyone saying, oh, he's black, y'all discriminating. Dude is going to get executed, period. And he's not going to be on death row like how they kept Michael, what's his name, Charles Manson on death row for decades. And in America, you just on death row. All the victims and the families, the victims' families, a whole generation of them is gone. By the time they get executed, the current family have no idea who this person is or what happened, because everyone's died off. That's not going to happen in these places. There's an angry mob. A lot of people are angry. You know, in the book of Proverbs, it talks about a generation of people that's being raised up. There's going to come a generation of people whose teeth are like swords, whose jaws are like iron. They just want to destroy. The same mob that was there for Jesus. We just here to throw some stones. Got no beef with him, don't know him personally, and we just want to be a part of the mob. And the Pharisees and the scribes that crucified Jesus, they had a beef with him. And so they had to make up lies, they had to string up some stuff about him. Let's get him killed. And that's what's going on today. There's an issue. They're mad. They were mad at his popularity. They were mad at how people were no longer following them. They were jealous. They said he was crazy, he was a nobody. But yet, they didn't want him to live. Angry people. And then you have people that's just going along. The Pharisees and scribes went through the people when they had to choose between letting Jesus free or Barabbas, this murderer and hooligan. The Pharisees and scribes went through pick Barabbas, pick Barabbas. Let him be free. Let Jesus die. And when it does, go along with it. Why? It's an angry mob. Anger leads to senseless actions. And what I see with a lot of brown people, black people, y'all are angry, you're hostile, and you're racist. You are the racist because you always bring up race. You're the racist. Why is it that a white person can't say anything to you without it being racist? You guys turn around and call white people white sellout, white men, white women, old white women, this white women, white bees, white hoes, white this. Oh my goodness. Let somebody say black this, black that. You guys will have Al Sharpton on speed dial. You can say, but they can't. Is there equality in that? Well, y'all owe us. They owe you nothing. None of these white people today owe you anything for what their forefathers did. They don't owe you anything. Because even if they gave you something, many of you will destroy it. The same way you destroy your neighborhoods, the same way you destroy, you don't follow up and make your payments on things, some of y'all. The same way you destroy your children, the same way you destroy your men, some of you, same way you destroy women. Beautiful woman, loves you, believes you, had her hopes and dreams. You go there, mess with her mind, play nice, do all the stuff, impregnate her, stain her, and leave her. And let's talk about some of you underbelly women. Nice man, loves you, all of that, good man. You played nice to get him to put the ring on your finger. And then you turn volatile, hostile, because you're used to men that's denting your forehead in. You're used to men that's throwing drinks in your face. You're used to men that punch you in your stomach, that just drop kick you for no reason in his house shoes. You draw to this, but you'll destroy a good man. You will curse a good man. You want to fight a man like your name is Bob, acting like straight old hyenas. You can't act right. This man can't take you anywhere. He's going to show up to his job just acting ugly. He was pulled in by your facade of being nice and gentle. You knew how to imitate what you saw in him as a man. Now you're going to his job. Now you go to the family reunion. You're just galloping through. He just trotting through the potato salad. Just gallop on the table, spill the juice. No respect for his grandmother, his house. You want to compete with his mother. See donkey. Don't even. Oh, I can't believe you're saying that. You say worse things. You acting like a sea donkey. So this man is broken. You ruin things. Come on. And those of you know better, you too scared to talk to your friends because when they're behaving like that, because they may turn on you. Some of you could do, you just quietly shake your head, right? Some of us, we gotta stay out of it. We can say so much, you stay out of it, or else they will turn around and rent you. That's why the Bible says you could give no wisdom to a foolish person, because it's like pulling the air of a fierce dog. Gonna turn around and rend you. Don't cast your pearls before swine. Some of you want pearls. I want reparation. I want changes. You're swine. You're dirty. You're still in this trough of you owe me. It's not about that. You're angry. Some of you are lazy. Some of you have a platform. Some of you have a platform. And some of you are rich. Some of you are doing well, but you're still bitter. Oh man, there's nothing worse than seeing somebody who's maybe sitting in a courtroom as a judge or somebody, and that ugliness comes out. They cannot listen. There's nothing worse than seeing a person that say that they're established, a man or a woman, and when a subject comes up that they disagree with, they don't listen, they get hostile, and that ugliness come out, that gutter juice come out. They become vindictive. Even with the corner office with a view, they're still a tunnel rat. Because your character matters. Leave those white people alone. Change your ways. Change begins at home in your community. Don't talk to them about the N-word. You say it more than they do. Don't talk about, oh, you disrespected me, you said this to me. You're insulting one another about everything. You're making fun of each other for each other's hair. You are making fun of someone for having cornrows. You are making fun of Africans. Africans are hating Americans. So what are you trying to get? Oh, you owe me. They don't owe you anything. Because you don't even think you owe yourself anything, because you hate yourselves. Many of you are bringing up race because you're race conscious, because you're racist, because you hate you, because you see your black skin as a flaw. That's why you bring it up all the time. It's because I'm black. Is being black some kind of a illness? Why you always talking about your color all the time? Why can't someone just not like you? And someone may be racist. They may not like black people. But as long as they're not trying to hurt you and harm you and coming at you with it, they may just, I don't like black people. They can say that. The person doesn't like you. That's their, I'm not talking to you. I don't deal with black people. Is it kind of sad that they think that way? Yes, but that's their right. So long as you are not trying to hurt me, harm me, hinder me, keep me from being able to advance, trying to do something against my family, they have a right to not like you because you're black. Stop melting off like ice cream in the summer for everything. Stop curling like plastic by heat for everything. Your cause is a farce. A lot of you just want to be mad. A lot of you have hit success, but you are so bitter about things that you are now using your power and the opportunities you have gained through your achievements to hurt other people because you're still upset and hurt about things. But if you really look at your life, depending on where you're at now, who was really hurting you throughout life? Was it white people or black people? Now, there's some people who live in other places, as I said, that racism is real for them. But a lot of y'all sitting around here just running around, you're mad, and most of the people that's hurt you throughout your life was not white people. I've had to go to places where I'm trying to go get some food, and I walk in, it's a bunch of black people in there just, behind the counter at the store acting silly, doing that sea donkey stuff around the food. You ask a question, there's a problem. Not all the time, but a lot. Enough for me to be like, I'm going to drive a little further out. Can white people be rude? Yes. But I go over there. I've walked in places where it's black owned and it's unprofessional. You treat other people badly. You treat other black people badly and poorly. And you're wondering why your business is not booming. You may be doing well, but you're going to have to work longer. You're going to work a few years. You're not going to retire just yet because of how you treat your own. And then the flip side of it is that your own sometimes come into your business and think that you should sell your stuff at a lower price and hook them up because we share the same skin color. Says who? So there is this vicious cycle. But as a business owner, everyone that comes through your door, you should be operating at a higher level of interaction, and your interpersonal skills and your resilience and your ability to bounce back. You have to see each and every customer that walks in as a person worthy of respect, and not like, oh, here comes a brown nappy head, wide nose. You see what I'm saying? Look in your neighborhood and look at the stuff that y'all mess up. Many black people are holding white supervisors hostage because they're too scared to get sued. And I always say, when people want to sue you, let them do it. Go on, do it, baby. Go on and sue me, please. Please, when you know as a supervisor you have not done anything wrong, let them sue you. This is would be the greatest opportunity. Number one, they're going to pay the legal fees, of course, depending on where you are. And the truth, now they're going to have to lay out everything, and they will be cross-examined. Go on, sue me. Stop being afraid. Let's get to the bottom of it. And the sad thing about it is that people who are really experiencing racism are not being taken seriously. People are rolling their eyes. Oh, here we go. Because of the boys and the girls that's crying wolf over here. Racism is not disagreement. Racism is not someone being curious about you and asking you questions. When I was in the army, there are times people, they just saw me for the first time. This first time seeing a black person. They asked me about my hair. They were fascinated to see my hair and the texture. And they touched it. And they asked me questions. And that's how people learn. That's how we become diverse. You learn and you ask. You go to China, Korea, they ask you questions straight up about your face. You would not survive over there. But they're curious. And some of them are rude. Oh, they call me a monkey. They call me this. They call me that. But you know what? That hasn't happened to me. I've had someone look over me while I was sleeping when I was stationed somewhere else. And the white girl wanted to slit my throat in the night. She was acting weird. Thank God, I believe the Lord had me look over at her little area because she was sharpening this knife and acting crazy. It's a long story, but bottom line is she was journaling how she stands over me every night thinking whether she should slit my throat or not. And she called me a black ass N-word of a roommate. Black ass nigger of a roommate. That's what she called me. She was a racist. And what did I have to do at that point? First, I was just going to deal with her one-on-one, but I was like, no, I'm in the military. My friends were like, no, don't do that. And that had to be dealt with. But did I go around now going, oh, Lord, I was almost gutted in my sleep by white folks. Y'all owe me. Being resilient is seeing what's happened, keeping it in proper perspective, and knowing that nobody owe me because of that. Are there horrible things that white people has done? Yes. Did they use babies as alligator bait? Yes. Did they hang people? Yes. Did they used to have little black children have their face out? You know how we go to the carnival and you throw the ball at the target? And if you hit the target, you get a prize. They used to do that with little black children. It stopped when a white person got there and saw that. There's a lot of things that's still going on. But you know what? Let me tell y'all something. Those atrocities happen. But there are people who are walking and being killed because they were determined to read and write. And they were being tarred and feathered and dismembered and beaten beyond human recognition for one to learn, and walking miles and miles and miles to go to school to learn. And y'all don't even want to get up and walk around the corner to go to work. Many people don't have that fight and willingness that despite what someone is saying to me, I'm going to persevere. There were children that were going into school when school were no longer segregated, and they integrated the school. They were throwing things at them. The National Guards had to be called in for them to go to school, and they still went. And now we've got whiny black people hollering about everything. Oh, you said this about me. Oh, Lord, you would not have survived back then. Oh, they asked me about this. Oh, it's racism. Oh, Lord. No, it's not. You're racist. A lot of time you have a chip on your shoulder. You hate yourself. And I know it, and I can say it because I've seen it. I've seen it. And I don't hate black people. And now I would be called Uncle Tom, and I'm this and I'm that. But I'm not. It's the truth. Many of you are mean. You're rude. You're disrespectful. You're not professional in business. You kill each other over $5. You take a loan for $5 like you gave somebody $55,000. Beat up old people. You fight your mamas. You fight each other. You have taken the N-word as if it's a badge of honor to say it. You hate your skin. You hate yourself. And when you hate yourself, you are going to now spread that to other people because your mindset is distorted. And you hide behind words like cause and justice and integrity while the whole time you're being nasty. And because of that, you'll not be taken seriously. And you do those who are really facing injustices, it's like everything that they're trying to build, people are going to give them second thoughts. I don't know. Can we really, is this real? Is this legitimate? Why? Because you have people over here hollering about everything. Everything is racism. You have been blessed, America. I can talk about other countries, but I only know America. You have been blessed. God has given you grace where the heart was moved by people, individuals, whether with ulterior motive or they had a political agenda or not, to end slavery. Let's talk about it for a second. Slavery was ended. And how did it end? There was an agreement, right? It wasn't at first. There was a civil war in this country. Oh, we're going to forget about that. There's a lot of people, including white people, who died because the Union did not agree with the Confederates about slavery. Now, were there some things that weren't so perfect? Because I'm sure when the slaves went to the North, they did not want them in their neighborhoods either. But nevertheless, they were willing to shed blood to say we're going to end slavery. Some of you are not even willing to shed blood to stand up for your neighbor, meaning you're not willing to get punched to help a child when they're being abused, physically abused. You're not going to do that. Let me tell you what some of you will do. You will record it and upload it on World Star Hip Hop. But there were people who died. And the Civil War went on for many years. It would have been easier for them to say, look, you white, I'm white, let's forget about it. Let's keep these slaves. But it went on for quite some time. But all it was, these men in slavery, right? It ended, and what ended it was just a change to the amendment. Sure, lots of meetings. But you know what? It was a change to the amendment, a written law. And something new. And it changed. There was still a lot that needed to happen from that point, because then, the Jim Crow laws came in and all that good stuff to keep it going. But I want you to understand the thin line between freedom and liberty. There's a thin line between freedom and liberty. I meant to say there's a thin line between freedom and bondage. All it was a pen. And a pen can change it back. Oh, slavery will never happen. It won't be called slavery, black people. It's going to be called something else. I've said this before. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Keep acting like some antelopes. You'll be surprised the amount of people that will gather together to put you back in some cages, to quarter off a part of land and say, this is where you guys are going to be. You think that's hard to do? I served in the military. It's easy to control you guys, everybody, if they need to. Remember, the military has enough, they have enough people, they have enough armed forces here to go to a country, a whole different country, and take down and win a war against a whole different nation, and that's filled with weapons and capable soldiers and footmen. So trying to flare up here, if there is a decision made to say things are going to change, oh yes, there will be bloodshed, but you can be controlled. Because you know what? The more y'all continue acting silly, the more people you're irritating. And they're going to say, yes, we need to develop some sort of reformation of these individuals. Because look what they're doing with their freedoms. They're going to bring up the statistics of deaths and homicides and whatever. I said we need to change it. It's going to be for the good of everybody. You think it can't happen? You see the power of the government? When it came to curfew? When it came to those masks? Don't think that the United States, if needed, cannot impose a stringent measures if you don't follow rules. It's just that we're not China, we're not other countries where they are more totalitarian, but we're trying to do it. We just do it in a different way. But what if your freedom is revoked on the claim that you're a menace to society, you're a danger to society? It will be such a beautiful argument. It will be so convincing. And because y'all are ticking so many people off, there's people going to say, yes, they need to be put back. Oh, well, black people won't allow it. There'll be a way to do that too. They'll segregate black people. The ones who's hardworking and doing all these different things and been acting right, if you want to say that, not giving no trouble. They'll separate. There's so many ways to get it done. It's not a hard thing. I'm not telling you to be fearful and not to speak up. You have to stand up for your rights. You have to say and speak up for causes. But what is happening is there are these, I want to call them, there are these, what is the word that I'm trying to find? Counterfeits. Tainted folks who are just easing in and pretending that it's about a cause and justice when they're just bitter and angry and want to be mad at white folk. Oh, racism, they're holding us back. But a whole Africans and Indians darker than you from Mumbai could come here and get more stuff than you. How racist is this country really? Africans, Jamaicans come here and do all this stuff. Mexican, come here and work hard and take your job. People darker than you, some Americans, doing well. It's not that. It has a lot to do with the mindset. But I'm going to end this video by saying, you have been blessed with freedom. You've been blessed with liberty. Everything's not perfect, but it's definitely not what it was before. Many of you are trotting on the hard work and the foundation and the blood that's been shed, and people who have been quartered, men who have been sold, men who were treated as cattle, who were white men going up to them, slave masters gripping their private parts and telling them to open their mouth and separating them from their children. And some of them will do what they call breaking the buck, raping them in front of their sons and mate and other slaves to keep them from running away again. And you're here talking about somebody said this and that. Sit down. Check your heart. Black people, y'all are racist. Now, all of you, as I said, you are racist. A lot of you, you're racist. You are more aware of being black than anybody else, because you make it. You weaponize your blackness to get your way. You are vindictive. A lot of you are. You're manipulative. You are destructive. You are hateful. You're malicious. And what you're trying to get from white people, you will not give it to one another. Your freedom is a blessing. Your liberties are a blessing. Use your liberties to fight for real causes. Understand that a racist person has a right to not like us. They have a right to be a racist. So long as they don't hurt you. So long as they don't harm you. So long as they're not boxing bread out your mouth. Slapping bread out your mouth. I think that's all I have to say, guys. Pray. Seek the Lord. Deal with those inner demons, because a lot of you are very angry and rude and mad. I will be called a sellout, a white lover, a bootlicker, a master dancer, all of that. That's fine. It is typical. And again, I say not everyone is thinking this way. But cut out all this hostility. You are racist. You hate yourselves. You are jealous of white people. Some of you are, not all. Some of you are jealous. You want that cornstalk hair. But don't you know that our hair could do that? Our hair is very versatile, but that's another video that I've done already. But you hate it. Oh, I want hers. And you're mean, and you're rude, and you're vindictive, and you're hostile. You don't want freedom. You don't want liberty. You want revenge. What does God says? Vengeance is mine. Work on yourself. Be honest with yourself. Clean up your own backyards in your community, in your household. When you do that, the change will begin to have a spiderweb effect. It'll begin to spread out, and you're going to see differences in the way we deal with one another. And whatever is owed to us, there'll be a if that's the case, because there's been a lot of things that's been done that's wrong. Those doors will open itself, and the way to do it will be not with hostility, but you'll be able to speak wisely. You'll be able to articulate yourself without your nose flared and your eyes big and interrupting and being wrong and deflecting and ugly and calling people out of their names. How can they not see us and see you as an animal when you behave that way? The way that you speak. You don't know how to articulate without cursing, without profanity. God forbid someone is actually being able to prove a point that you're wrong about something. And what do I see? Interrupting, over talking. Oh, whatever. Oh. You're not ready. You're not ready to sit at this table just yet. And it will only solidify the stereotypes that you cannot invite sea donkeys to the banquet. They don't know how to act. Under all that glitz and glamour, they still have hoods. And we know that's not true. So if you've made it this far with me, thank you for listening. Time to be real with yourself. Be prayerful. Deal with what's happening inside of you so you're not led away in this angry mob. And that we do not allow or stand by and allow people who are really experiencing these things to now be discounted and thrown off right in the heap with everybody else who are playing games. All right, guys. God bless.